Hi everyone, I'm Katherine, and today I'm going to share with you guys some differences between my apartment complex in China and the apartment complex I used to live in the United States, as well as some general differences between houses in the US and houses in China. There's a lot of really interesting stuff to show you guys, both outside and inside, so let's get started. A lot of neighborhoods in China are gated. We used to have like a little key that we would scan to get in, and now they've changed it to a facial recognition system. So you don't even need the little key. All you need is your face, which I imagine everybody has every day, right? So you just scan your face and you walk in. One of the first things I see when I walk in my neighborhood is this elderly people exercise equipment. All over China, you can see these pieces of exercise equipment, and it's not like rigorous exercise like at the gym. It's just like making yourself move, basically. Like, this isn't exhausting, but it kind of gets you up and moving, so elderly people can come here and just get some exercise and make sure that their bodies don't start getting frail or sickly. 这个健身器材是干嘛用的呀？这个好像太简单了点，不知道是这个样子还是这个样子。This one is like a little back massager. See the little nubs on here? So you can get an arm workout, well, a very light arm workout, while massaging your back. They got everything here. Something else that is the in thing for elderly people in China is birds. Bird cages aren't just kept in the house. When the bird's owner comes out in the park or the garden for a walk or to sit or whatever, the birds come along too. If you don't look up at the sky and see all of those apartment buildings, it's really easy to forget that this actually isn't a park, it's part of my apartment complex. In the US, the apartment complex that I lived in, and most of the other ones I've seen, either had no shared space or the shared space was mostly grass, like a lawn, or they would have like a gym or a pool. Man, I wish this place had a pool. But anyway, there usually wouldn't be like a big garden or park-like complex such as this. But in China, the apartments I've lived in, actually a lot of them had places like this. It's really beautiful. It's nice to walk here and kind of feel like you're in nature and away from the city. Our apartment garden also has a robust and diverse population of stray cats. At first, I thought maybe these birds are just like adrenaline junkies or something and really love to challenge their natural enemy. But then I realized that this plot goes much deeper than that. It seems that a kind neighbor has been leaving dishes of food outside, as people usually do, for the cats. And the birds think the food is for them, and the cats think the food is for them. So a war has broken out over the food. I never saw anybody feed stray cats or stray dogs when I was living in the US, not because people don't want to, but because they just aren't there. They're all taken away to the pound, so there's no like stray animal ecosystem existing like we have in our garden. Instead of feeding stray cats and dogs, people in the US love to feed birds. Ever since I was young, our family always put a ton of bird feeders on our deck to draw in the birds. Here, the balconies are mostly glassed in, so nobody really feeds birds, but a lot of people like to feed the cats. Of course, some things are the same all over the world, like this super plastic playground. There's also a donation box that you can put your old clothes in. At first, I thought this sign was kind of weird, like why would you have this in the park? But then I remembered my days back in the US, going for a stroll, running into a pack of Mormons or running into Jehovah's Witnesses with their little stands of books. So, I guess it's not that weird after all. So now we are on our way to go and pick up a package. Technically, we have mailboxes, but I've never opened it and I don't even know where the key is. And mailing letters and bills is basically non-existent. Everyone just uses a centralized package pickup center. So how this place works is that you'll get a text that your package has arrived, and then you walk into the building and pick up your package and then scan it to prove that you picked it up. And while you're there, you can also have some ice cream bars from the biggest selection of ice cream I've ever seen anywhere. I mean, seriously, this place has like every single brand of ice cream bar that exists in all of China. Look at all the ice cream. There's also no like cash register person or anything. You're just trusted to match up the price yourself and pay for it yourself. Now we're on our way to my apartment where I'll show you guys a couple more interesting things. So So you might have noticed something interesting about this bathroom is that there's no bathtub, there's no curtain, there's no little glass door. The shower is just kind of here, and the water just goes out all over the floor of the bathroom, and then it goes down the drain over here. And these are really common in China. Most of the apartments I've lived in had a shower like this. It does save a lot of space, but when I first got here I thought it was kind of weird because the floor gets so wet and it's just like the shower and the toilet and everything is just together. It's in this one condensed space. There's another really interesting feature in Chinese bathrooms, which is this gigantic light here. It's actually for keeping you warm while you take a shower, but let me show you guys just how bright this thing is. It's crazy how bright it is. Like, oh my gosh, it's so bright. You know what I feel like when this thing is turned on? I feel like a snake in a terrarium with those like heating lamps, you know, like it's really intense. But Chinese people, they like never wear sunglasses. I think people's eyes just aren't so sensitive here, but I cannot tolerate this light. It is way too intense. It's like sun in my eyeball. But yeah, it's to keep you warm while you're taking a shower. One of the biggest differences I've noticed between Chinese homes and homes in the US is that people here almost always hang their clothes to dry. It's very uncommon to have a dryer. Sometimes they're seen in like hotels and stuff, but not really in people's homes. So people either will dry the clothes like right here, how they're all hanging on this rack that the house comes with, or they will hang them outside of their house on like a pole. And I've lived in an apartment that did that as well. And sometimes people think that, oh, that's like so messy looking to have all those clothes there. They're kind of in the way. It's like kind of impacts the appearance of the room. But I'll show you guys something cool. So now the room feels a little bit more clear. So I don't really see very many of these like glass balcony type things in the US. It's either like an outdoor balcony or maybe there would be a sunroom, but this is just like a glass attachment to the bedroom. And this is a place where people will hang clothes because you can get a lot of exposure to the sunlight and help them dry faster. So why waste electricity putting it in a dryer? It's cool that you can just let the sun do its work and just let them dry on their own. In a day or two, they'll be all dry and ready to be put away. That's all for today. I hope you guys found it somewhat interesting. And to be honest, when it comes to life inside the apartment, most things are really similar to being back in the US. It's the outside that's really different. The whole setup of the neighborhood and just the way things are outside of the apartment is super different from when I was living in an apartment in the United States. But anyway, I hope you all found this interesting, and I'm looking forward to sharing more of my life in China with you guys in upcoming months since my thesis is finally done. So if you guys have ever lived abroad and you found any interesting things in your apartment or in your neighborhood, feel free to share in the comments. Hope to see you next time. Bye bye.